You learn more, you earn more. It is time for another episode of Ask Pat, where Downing-Frye Realty's Director of Corporate Training helps you become more productive, professional, and profitable in your real estate career. Please welcome Pat Patoki and Cindy Woolley.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, Cindy.
So good to see you again.
Great to see you. And it's really an exciting day for us at Downing-Frye. We are going to introduce to everyone a very important member of our support team.
Absolutely. So I know that you're passionate about training and, helping agents learn more about things that can be profitable and activities that help them do business. But there's another side of this business and that's that legal side, right?
Absolutely. And in this day and age, with everyone's being a little more litigious and scams, that is really an important component for all realtors. And at Downing-Frye, we are very, very, very fortunate to have that built in so that we have a partner that we can go to and help us with these really confounding legal matters.
Absolutely. Well, we've had Don Ross as a part of the team for years, but he has been growing as well and brought on Christian Ross. Christian, good to see you.
Morning, you two. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. And thanks for joining in the family here with Downing-Frye.
That's right. Yeah, so I joined my dad's practice here at Ross Title and Ross Law about 4 or 5 months ago. But some people realize it, but I've actually been behind the scenes for a lot longer than that. But I'm glad to be down here and helping out on the day-to-day stuff now.
Ross Title is just such an integral part for our team and being a resource for all of the realtors. You jumped right in as season was kicking in, so it was kind of like welcome.
Right. Well, I was practicing in Atlanta for many years before coming down, so I feel somewhat seasoned myself, but this market's pretty unique. And, we have a lot of agents that are moving from out of town. We have a lot of buyers and sellers who are from out of town. So I hope that experience and practicing in other markets actually will help us. But we're in the very least going to continue to answer people's questions and kind of be your resource when you need us the most.
Absolutely. Now, what is it that you see that's hot, trending, or in the past couple of months that is a topic that you really think is hitting the market here locally?
Well, we've got a strong seller's market, and in that, sellers are asking for things that they normally wouldn't have asked for, or they're getting proposals that they're not used to getting. And it starts with multiple offers. And when you have multiple offers, everyone's trying to beat each other out. And so you get these escalation clauses. I think I'm uniquely positioned to give advice on that because in Atlanta, they've been doing that for the last decade. It's been a big part of that market up there. But down here, it's pretty new. Wouldn't you say, Pat, this is not something that has been around for very long?
No, I think it is. As a matter of fact, NABOR just this year, via a task force that I was on, wrote the escalation clause for NABOR. And we did that because we had experienced the use of the FARBA escalation clause, and you cannot mix FARBA and NABOR forms. So we thought, well, we better do that. We had a split decision among attorneys about whether we should do that. Some brokers don't want to use that. That's fine.
Right.
But we felt that we had to do that. So it gives people an option, a tool.
It gives them a great tool. I actually really like the NABOR escalation clause, but generally I don't like escalation clauses. They're confusing. They have to be updated in the event you do actually escalate. And one question that continually comes up, even from the most experienced agents, is, well, I have 2 offers and they both have escalation clauses. How does it work then? So my advice ultimately, and I've done many classes on this, and I'll continue to do more, is just negotiate with who you want to negotiate with. But
Right.
when you have to get down to the details and you have to look at, how these escalation clauses work, you have to kind of lean on people like Pat and myself to kind of help you through that. Because if you haven't done it before, if the listing agent hasn't done it before, you'll kind of want to ask those questions in advance.
I think that's true. And we recommend that everyone gets beyond that initial anxiety by doing a spreadsheet of all the offers, of all 6 or 7 items and terms that are included in every offer, so that the sellers can see them. And it also helps the realtors see and compare and contrast on one sheet rather than 30 pages. And from there, they can at least, I think, somewhat reduce their own anxiety, because I think realtors really, truly want to try to help their folks. They
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah. And it can be hard to help your client if they're confused about how the
Yeah,
escalation clause works. So that's
absolutely.
kind of a big item that we're seeing, Cindy. That's something that it's just coming up on every deal, and it goes from there. There are a million other things that we're seeing that are really becoming issues.
Mhm.
One of the things with Kristen, and we are very, very fortunate to have Christian join us. I think he's been working really, really hard. He's sort of a low key sort of gentleman, and he gets the work done. But he's done a lot in terms of making some sort of updates, changes, that sort of thing. Maybe you can share with us a little bit, Kristen, about how you have taken Ross Title, which was always an amazing, productive title company, and kind of positioned it so that it would be even better.
Thanks, Pat. My dad's been running this company for 30 years, and this town is very traditional in the way we do things. We have lawyers, we have title companies, and everyone wants their own representation, and we tended to do everything manually. Faxes are still a thing in Naples, Florida. So coming from Atlanta most recently, that's just, there's so many advances technologically that we can utilize to take what we already have, to take all the experience, the legal advice, the great staff that we have, and then kind of incorporate the newer technologies. So now we use, the questionnaires, where before we would mail the client a questionnaire, they'd fill it out and mail it back or fax it to us. Now it's all done on our website on a secure portal, and they don't even have to print anything out. That little change just saves people a lot of time and anxiety. And then on top of that, we are partnering with Certified, which is a company that ensures wiring instructions. So when your client is getting wiring instructions from our office, it goes through this portal. And in the event there is some sort of fraud, it's protected up to $1 million in insurance from Lloyd's of London. So that thing it just takes this huge burden right off my
Sure.
shoulders to know that our clients are safer, and in turn, our closings are safer. And then we also have partnered with a company called Verif, which is verifying sellers' identities, so that if there is some sort of fraud going on with a seller impersonation, the Verif will actually verify with their documents, their driver's license or passports, to make sure I've got the right people. We've never had fraud like this before. And Ross Title, luckily, we've been protected from it. We've made some good decisions, but now we've partnered with this company to hopefully help us even more in that regard. And so there are all those things just like that. We've got the ability to text our clients right from our closing software, so we can update them on closing dates and times. We can email, securely. We have everything encrypted. I think we were one of the first companies to be encrypted here in Naples. And it's only going to get better from there. I'm investing on our new website, where people are going to have a lot more resources just right through the website, with closing cost coordinate calculators and information. If your client needs to know more about who they're working with, they can find everything they need to know about on our website.
I think these are very, very important. I know Downing-Frye has a disclosure that we recommend, highly recommend everyone use about wire fraud and so forth. And it is just something we have to live with, and we just have to make sure we have. If I could find some wood here, I would knock on wood. But we have been very fortunate. We constantly ask all of our realtors never to be involved in wiring instructions. We don't allow it. We ask them to explain that to their customers so that they understand it's not unwillingness to help, but it's safety and security. And we're one of the few companies, we and Ross Title, one of the few companies that have not had just terrible deleterious problems with wire fraud. So, and we want to keep it that way. And I
Yeah.
want to thank you,
Right.
Kristen. I think this is extremely important. I know it's expensive, and I debate this with my own children who think I'm very old-fashioned because I won't do certain things on mobile. And yet, I'm going to say this, and I hope I'm not jinxing myself, but we've not had a problem with that. So,
Right.
an
Well,
ounce
and
of
Pat, I'm a
prevention.
millennial, so I can't help but invest in technology and kind of push the envelope in that regard. So, some of the things that I've done with Downing-Frye, just directly with Downing-Frye, we actually are working on ways to just get payments processed quicker for
Yep.
commissions and verifications of commissions. At the end of the day, as much as we don't want to say it, we're all in this business to make a living.
Yeah.
And so my number one priority after making sure that the client gets clear title is to get you paid. I can't ignore that fact. I can't pressure that enough. So I actually met with my bankers earlier this week. We're investing in blockchain technology to make sure that payments get processed quicker. We're going to be there when this economy kind of changes, when title standards update, when we're ready to move quicker and faster and hopefully save clients more money. We're going to be there to do that. And in the meantime, we're going to do it the way we've also been doing it forever. It doesn't. There's no change from what we have and the resources that you have at your disposal. So on my business card, I've got my cell phone number. Everyone should probably have that in the case they get themselves in a bind. The closing doesn't have to be with me in order to answer your question. If you need my help, I'm here to help. I have to earn your trust before I earn your business. So let me do that first.
Absolutely. And it's I think really important, and it's a wonderful option and a strength of Downing-Frye and Ross Title, who partner at back and forth and really, I think, provide the best options and service for customers. That is the goal.
Mhm.
And we're very fortunate to have Kristen join us. Kristen, maybe you can share with us a little bit about your weekly video series, because I really have encouraged everyone to watch, and everyone's so busy, but if you can share a little bit about
Sure.
that, I think they'll get to know you.
Sure. So I came up with the name Down and Dirty because I wanted. It used to be called like a lunch and learn, but I don't have any lunch. We just do it over Zoom. So I called it Down and Dirty 30 because it's 30 minutes. It's super simple. It's one topic. It's every week, and to me, it's very easy to tune in. If it's not what you want, you tune out. And if you're able to come this week but not next week, that's perfect. It's not a problem. I've actually modified it. Now I'm calling it Downing Dirty. So that's the new title. But we started out by talking about escalation clauses. I have a video recording on that if anyone wants a copy of that. We've done a one class on all cash offers with a mortgage. All the relevant topics. When I run through something that week on a closing, I'm going to bring it up at the class. That's going to be our new topic. We're going to talk about tenants. If you're buying a property and there's a tenant in place, how do we protect the buyer, the new buyer? How do we protect the tenant? Those things are becoming more and more complicated. And if we're not thinking through each potential scenario, we're not protecting our client. But at the end of the day, there are 3 goals in every class and in every contract. Goal number 1 is get it under contract. Goal number 2 is to protect your client. And goal number 3 is to get it closed. And you can't do one without doing the others, in my mind. You have to have all 3, and that's what these classes are meant to help you with. Is we have to see the whole picture. We can't be single-minded. We can't just think about ourselves. How do we kind of get it under contract while protecting the client and getting it closed? Because if you only get it under contract, you're not making any money. And if you only got it closed,
where
but
can people go to access those, Christian?
I've been emailing them. I'm still, I'm the new guy in town, so bear with me. But you can always email me, and I'll provide a copy of it.
Okay.
I've got to build out a better process for how I, educate people about the upcoming class time. But as you know, we're in the middle of season, so I'm kind of running around trying to do too much at once. But I'm going to be emailing everybody copies of the topics, and then after the fact, they'll get a copy of the recording.
Great. And at Downing-Frye, we're going to make sure that we try to include that as well, so that our folks have access. If I could only find the magic of really having all of our realtors everywhere read and watch videos, I have not found the magic on that. I'm trying.
We're going to keep trying, Pat. So, we'll have it live for anyone that wants to come at that moment, and they can ask their questions. They can participate. I will warn you, I'm used to law school training where the teacher calls on the student and makes them talk. So that's how I operate. And then we'll have the recording, obviously, after the fact. I'm also going to try and do a podcast recording so that if you're in the car and you just want to listen to the audio. And then I mentioned earlier we're redoing the website, so I'll have all that stuff on the website eventually. I'll have it on YouTube eventually, but right now it is just for Downing-Frye. There's no one else that's that I'm doing this for. I think you guys, you have always been our priority, and I'm going to continue that. And there's plenty of business if I focus everything I have on you guys. And so that's kind of the mindset. That's what I want to do for you. I want to make everyone better at this company because you guys have always taken great care of us as well.
Absolutely. And we love it. We love being well taken care of, and we will do the same. But we all believe that we celebrate everyone's professionalism, production, and so forth. So we are all focused on that mission, which is to increase the success. And Christian has joined us and is a very important part of that. So I want to welcome you, Christian, and say how happy we are to have you join our family. The one thing I do know about Downing-Frye is it is family. So it's the feeling is there. I can call Christian at any time. I can call his dad at any time with a question. They can call me, whatever. And I think that's a wonderful, wonderful relationship. So
yeah,
I thank you very
little
much.
known fact, I've known Mike Hughes my entire life. He's family. I've known David Fry my entire life, and Mitch, and so it's really nice to be able to kind of keep it, come back to this. It's really very special to me.
Absolutely. You are special to us as well, as is the support we need, particularly in this age. 50 years ago, we did not have such a litigious attitude toward everything. And right now, coming out of the pandemic, we have a lot of people that are pretty grumpy, just as a beginning point.
No, they are. And that's why these topics have always been out there. But when you have anxieties as high as they've been, each one of them gets magnified. So if there is going to be an issue, it gets pointed out. So just be on your P's and Q's and come next door and ask if you have a question before, don't assume anything in this market because
Absolutely.
with prices so high, yes, commissions have never been higher, but the risks and the liabilities have never been higher together with that. So we all have to be very careful.
Absolutely.
Christian, we need to get your videos on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And that'll take some of the workload off of you, so we can all kind of collaborate and build the resource pool for everyone. So I'll reach out to you after this podcast and we'll get that straightened out.
Awesome.
Good. You mean Christian can be a lawyer and not have to be
if he wants to be.
If I want it, yeah.
You know, the one of the real positives, we moved our office, so did Ross Title, and we are now in the same building, which really has had such a positive effect, I think.
I really like it. It makes it easier for me to interact with leadership and with the agents that are coming in, and it's a wonderful opportunity for us because we kind of see who we're working with. You know, the last couple of years, it's all been remote, and so it's hard to make that connection with people that's so necessary. So, you know, when you come by the office sometime, you know, stop over and introduce yourself to me, and I'll answer any questions you might have, and I'll bill Pat.
We have a secret door. Christian and I have a secret door. We're not going to tell anybody about that.
It's locked. The door is locked.
Oh my.
But it's really been a very, very, very positive experience. Really has.
All right. I think that's all we have for today. So until next time, I want to remind all Downing-Frye agents, check Wednesday in your emails for DF Agents. That's our weekly newsletter coming from the team, and you'll get updates from Mike Hughes, Pat, Christian, from our FDM team. Also, you'll get important updates about training and reminders to help keep you on top of what's happening, what's coming up, and we'll be able to catch you up on any videos you might have missed or any other things that are going on. So I think that is like our center hub. And then we've got nets going out on YouTube and dfagents.com. And so there's a lot going on, but we try to keep it all into the stuff that you need to know.
If I could make one last pitch, we're going hybrid in April. We really, really love seeing people in person. If you are not ready, we are also offering virtual attendance at sales meetings, trainings, etc. So as Christian said, stop in to see us. We love to see you. We can even recognize you without mask now. And we are hybrid, and we are very special, I think, in that we try to do whatever our folks need.
All right. Everyone have a wonderful day.
Thanks, ladies.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Ask Pat. You can learn more at Downing-Frye.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn.